We are live on YouTube, and we just caught the beginning or the tail end of their conversation about something black in their coffee. Yeah, it's called coffee. How you guys doing? My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. Today's date is Sunday, December 2022. It is officially 3 o'clock Eastern Time. So much to get to this week. Joining me off camera is my dad, and Amy is actually really and truly off camera on this couch over here. So, as you have probably guessed, if you're a wrestling fan, and I'm wearing my NWO shirt, I was at WWE Holiday Tour Live at the Dow Event Center in Saginaw last night. It was a fantastic show. Lots of well-known faces there. The Miz was there. Seth freaking Rollins was there. Alexa Bliss, Bailey, Rhea Ripley. Almost is his name, or Amas. He was escorted out by MVP and Bobby Bobby Lashley was there. It was just a great show. I had a great time. Yep. And I decided to keep my ticket stub, which is right there for your viewing pleasure. So that was my ticket stub, and it was a great time. Yeah, we yesterday was my buddy Reese Varney's 12th birthday. So again, Reese, happy birthday. Love you, buddy. Yeah, he had a great time, and it was a lot of fun. We were sitting in the arena, in our seats, we were watching the show, and the next thing I know, he's putting his head on my shoulder, and I kind of just look over at him, and he says, "Thank you, Jared, for bringing me to this." I said, "Well, that's not a problem. I didn't get the tickets." His aunt actually bought the tickets for Reese and the people who were taking him, which was Dad and myself. And so thank you, Brenda, for the tickets. We appreciate that very much. We didn't ask for them, by the way, just on record. We didn't ask for them. We wasn't expecting it. But Reese's mom says, "Well, would you like to take Reese to a WWE wrestling? It's coming to Saginaw to the Dow." Yeah, sure, why not? So we got the tickets from his aunt, and then one of his buddies were supposed to come, but he had other plans. Yeah, something, I guess, a bowling league in Grand Blanc or something, but that's fine. We still had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Yesterday for me was a jam-packed day. Because it started out where I went to Frankenmuth to Bronner's Christmas Wonderland, and there were easily a couple thousand people there, hands down. It was packed, and for two reasons. One, obviously, because we're 2 weeks away from Christmas, which is 2 weeks from today. And the other reason, because Santa Claus was at Bronner's, and everybody was bringing their kids in. And what now? Yeah, it had taken me a good 20 minutes just to find somewhere to park. And I was actually there getting some ornaments personalized for some friends of mine. And I stood in line for a good 45 minutes waiting for that. And the process itself had taken maybe 5 or 6 minutes because it's all handwritten personalization on the bulb. They have actual penners at Bronner's. So it was really, my Saturday was jam-packed. I was just busy from the time I got up to the time I went to bed last night. But I decided to wear my NWO shirt to kind of talk about wrestling last night, which, I don't watch WWE closely enough to know who's who. I mean, I knew a few people, like I knew The Miz, I knew Seth Rollins, I knew MVP, I knew Bobby Lashley. But I really wasn't familiar with Dominic Mysterio, which is Rey Mysterio's son. And I got a message on my phone. Just 1 second. Oh, well, that's sweet. That's sweet. I got a message from someone on Messenger, but there were some wrestlers I didn't really know all that well. I wasn't really familiar, and because I don't watch WWE as often as Dad does. Dad watches every week. And unless we go out to Billy's tomorrow night, he'll probably end up watching Raw. Because he watches Raw every week. Monday, Tuesday. He watches Raw. He watches Raw on Monday nights. He watches NXT on Tuesday nights. He watches SmackDown on Friday nights, and the AEW or New Japan. It's AEW, and then there's New Japan Pro Wrestling that we watch.
There's another one we watch, Impact.
Oh yeah, TNA Impact. So all week long we have our variety of wrestling shows that we watch. I'm not really familiar with WWE wrestling. I'm gonna have to start watching it more now that I went to the show last night in Saginaw. I'm really gonna have to get familiar with who's the face and who's the heel. But it was a great time last night. The parking, we had to pay $15 just to park. And valet parking I think was like $25. And I thought I'd be the only guy wearing my NWO shirt there last night, but there were a couple others who were wearing NWO shirts. The guy sitting behind us, he and his kids were there. The littlest was really into the show. He just sweet little guy. Seth Rollins would clothesline a guy, and the little boy would speak up and say, "Good job, Seth Rollins, get him!" And it was cute. Oh yeah, he likes the Fiend. I guess the Fiend is a wrestler. Okay, which I'm not familiar with the Fiend. I know all you wrestling aficionados out there are going to say, you don't know who the Fiend is? No, I don't actually.
I don't know who the Fiend is. Dad says he knows.
You know who the Fiend is? I'm gonna have to watch wrestling. Clearly, I have to catch up on WWE wrestling because I haven't been watching nearly enough to really know who's who. But it was still a lot of fun. It was a house show. It wasn't, broadcast nationally on television. But it was a lot of fun. No. Like a voodoo doll?
Yeah, voodoo doll.
Yeah.
The one that she went with is the same one that came back to wrestling again. I can't remember what he was with them two brothers. The big guy that Harper or
Oh yeah, with Wyatt family.
The Wyatt family.
Yeah.
Okay? The leader of them.
Yeah.
That's who the Fiend is.
Bray Wyatt.
Or was.
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt was the Fiend.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yep.
So
We learned something
the
new.
College of WWE Knowledge sitting right over here on the couch, guys.
Yeah.
Read him and weep. He knows all wrestling. But I had a lot of fun last night, and Reese had a great time after before I'll get to that in a minute, but we were sitting in our seats and Reese comes back out with a box of pizza, 4 slices, and Dad's like, "Well, how much you pay for that?" He says, "Oh, about $15. $15 for 4 slices of pizza, $3.75 a piece." And it was from Jets Pizza, but which I expected because the private vendors are usually always expensive. For a snow cone, it was $10. And you're paying for the glass, really. You're not paying for the contents that go in the glass. They wanted $10 for one snow cone.
That was actually cheaper than what Amy got it for.
Yeah, what'd you get it for?
$12.
$12 for a snow cone?
For that glass you got.
Holy
wow.
Yeah, I paid 15.
Well,
Yeah, Dad paid 15.
I gotta say, there was a guy sitting in front of us, and there were a row of guys, but the one guy at the end was fucking hilarious. He was shouting shit out, and everybody around us, including myself, we were laughing our asses off because he was shouting all kinds of stuff. He says, "Come on, ref, wake up, ref!" And then when the women were wrestling, it was Alexa Bliss, I think it was, and Asuka, yeah. And he says, "Spit in her face, spit in her face. Come on, ref." And yeah, everybody, we were all laughing. And then he was making funny noises. He was going like that when Amos was out there. He was going, he was making funny noises. It was just, yeah, he was a big guy. But they all put on a great show last night. Even the Miz. The Miz come out there. He was talking shit. Trash talking about Saginaw and the people who live in Saginaw. Of course, they put on a good show. That's what they do. And of course, there was heightened security and police were everywhere, sheriffs and but it was pretty cool. After the match, they did have cameras there, and for the reason for that is because there's a thing up in the rafters where you can actually see what's going on via the camera. And so when Bobby Lashley was going around, he was signing autographs, high five and everything, and they had it all on screen because a cameraman was following him. So whatever the camera caught, you could see up here. And I thought that was great. And what a friend of mine, a friend of my family, actually, her son had a selfie with Seth freaking Rollins because Seth freaking Rollins grabbed her son's freaking phone. And he's going to remember that for the rest of his life. They were phenomenal in Saginaw last night. They were great. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. After the show, because everything at the Dow is just too fucking expensive, we decided to stop at the McDonald's on Michigan and Gratiot, for those of you familiar with Saginaw, and we got something to eat, and because I was hungry. I hadn't eaten anything all day yesterday. I had a Big Mac value meal. Dad had 2 cheeseburger value meal, and Reese had an Oreo McFlurry. Although it was snowing outside last night. Yeah, he didn't want anything else. But I have had a pretty good past few days. Between yesterday and of course I had sent out some Christmas bulbs to some friends from Bronner's, some Christmas ornaments, personalized Christmas ornaments, and I've been getting all kinds of messages from lots of people. I'm not going to mention names, but I had gotten all kinds of messages from lots of people thanking me for putting smiles on faces and for the thought. And so the past few days for me have been remarkable. And it really does, when you think that what you do in life doesn't make a difference of any kind, as it turns out, it truly does. And so I take comfort in knowing that I did something nice and I thought about someone else, which I always do. I think of others all the time. But my heart has been full these past few days, and it's been a great few days since Thursday, I believe. Actually, last week was a pretty good week for me, all things considered. And I say all things considered because we lost a well-known actress last week, and it came out of nowhere. Last Monday, Kirstie Alley had passed away. For those of you who don't remember who Kirstie Alley, I think everybody knows who Kirstie Alley is. She was in Look Who's Talking. She was in It Takes Two. She was in For Richer or Poor, Veronica's Closet. She was, of course, Rebecca on Cheers, the TV show Cheers. Kirstie Alley was 71 years old. I didn't think she was that old. She was the same age. She was the same age as Robin Williams. And the reports had come out that Kirstie Alley had colon cancer, and it was a recent diagnosis, but it was quick. And of course, if she was going to seek treatment, she don't want to put that out there for the world to know, which she had that right. We don't need to know every little nook and cranny of a celebrity's life. But she was just a gifted, talented actress, and she's going to be dearly missed. I love Kirstie Alley. She was, yeah, and our hearts go out to her family, but she was an awesome, awesome actress. She was one of my favorites. And John Travolta, he's having a hell of a year because first it was Olivia Newton-John. Of course, they were in Grease together. And then now Kirstie Alley, they were in Look Who's Talking together. So he has had a hell of a year, John Travolta, so it's really awful.
John.
But, Dad, how was your week? Because I've just been sitting here rambling.
Right, still waiting to get my truck back. But
yeah.
Hopefully I get it fixed and I'll be driving again.
And that's another one of those all things considered, because Dad's having problems with his truck, and the driver's side door on my van won't open on the outside. So now I gotta crawl through the passenger side, open the door from the inside, and then walk back around to get in. This is getting really old, really fucking fast. Yeah, because this is getting really super old, really super fast. And I am hoping that this problem will be resolved. The upside, however, with my van is that I'll have it paid off next month. Woohoo! My final payment will be in January. Yeah. So we're getting things paid off slowly but surely. I'm looking forward to having those that note paid off.
So if we need more fuel, we can give it.
Right. So Amy, I turn the floor over to you. How was your week? All right.
All
All right. That's okay.
When I get my truck back, me and Amy's gonna go do
Yeah.
a few things.
The chat log is open, by the way, as a friendly reminder. Come on in, say hello, or strike up conversation, but you will behave yourself. And if you come in here with remarks or being stupid in any way, I will throw your ass out and I'll drop you like a stone. But come on in and say hi. I encourage it. Yeah, this past week was, for me, was just really good. It was great.
Dan was there last night too, but we didn't see him.
Yeah, our buddy Dan Richards from WKCQ was there. I think he was sitting across from, because I thought he had. Yep, we gotta. Thank you. He was sitting on the opposite side of the arena, like where we were at. He was right across.
I didn't see him,
But he took some good pictures with his phone.
oh, yeah, pictures, I see it on
Yeah, if we go out to Billy's tomorrow night, he's probably going to show me some pictures that he didn't post. I don't know, Dan. What do you think?
where he was. What
Because he showed me, because he went through Ticketmaster,
was he at? Was he
like where we were at sitting here. But if I understand correctly, he was directly across on the other side of the arena. I looked for him. I couldn't find him anywhere.
good pictures?
Yeah. Yeah, he got some really good pictures. And I ran into my buddy George last night unexpectedly. And I say unexpectedly because George lives up by Farwell, Lake George, which is northwest of here, like on the other side of Mount Pleasant, Clare, like way up north. And he was in Saginaw last night for the wrestling, and he was there with his brother Jerry and a friend of his named Jason Lockridge, which I've met Jason. He's a pretty cool guy. Shook George's hand. We talked for maybe 5 minutes, and he was hoping that we could have, met up after the show so we could have talked more, but we just wanted to beat the rush, because the minute the show ended, everybody got up and started bum rushing the doors, and it was hectic in some ways, not a lot, but in some ways it was hectic getting out of the Dow. Yeah, Johnson Street was jam-packed. Because everybody was coming out, but it was a lot of fun. I had a great time last night, and all my friends on Facebook are talking about the people who actually went to the event last night. They're talking about it, and they're, posting their pictures, as did I.
People, but there was enough there to
Yeah,
go going.
Kevin Owens was there last night too, and I know who Kevin Owens is. I'm familiar that his finishing move now is the stunner that he took from Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he did do the stunner last night.
Yeah, he did do it.
Yeah, he did do it last night.
And also Seth Rollins did that stomp.
The curb stomp. Seth Rollins did the curb stomp. Yeah.
World champion.
The thing about house shows, because it was a house show last night in Saginaw, the thing that gets me is whenever they have championship matches, and I was telling you about this last night, is that they never really have the titles don't change hands at house shows. It's like they have to keep the story going for pay-per-views and live events and things like that.
They got that big one coming up.
Well, that's what I just said. They have to keep the story going for pay-per-views and live events, like on television. So I understand. They don't do much in the way of titles changing hands. However, the best thing about live shows is that they're not on time constraints, so they can interact more with the fans. On TV, they're running on time, so they have to come out, do their thing, compete in the match, and then be done on TV. But at a house show, you can come out, you can strut yourself, you can, do whatever you want to do, and you're not on time constraints, which is, I think, is actually pretty cool. Yeah,
everybody go boom.
But see, the thing is, if you're a wrestling fan, you would expect that from Miz, from the Miz, because at first he says, Saginaw, Michigan. And the crowd went wild. And he says, I can't believe that an A-lister like me would end up in a dump like this. And boo, motherfucker. But it was funny. It was funny. He was sitting there trash talking to everybody. Then he slowly takes off his robe and he says, I'm going to show you what a real man looks like. And he took his robe off and he's doing this like he's ravishing Rick Rude or somebody. And everybody laughed. I laughed. I thought it was fucking hilarious. It was funny. But he put on a show and that was the point. And
Kids loved it.
oh yeah, the kids were just,
They were up there getting autographs and shaking their hands.
oh yeah.
Bobby get down there and do his muscle
Well,
thing.
Well, I will say I wasn't really pleased with the merchandise. Oh my God, the merchandise,
Oh,
the cost of that stuff. They had the most expensive item they had there was the championship belt. They wanted $425. Yeah, $425 for a championship belt.
It wasn't even like Dad said.
Yeah, it wasn't, and it's not even real. And it's like, how the fuck are you going to spend that kind of money? How are you going to spend that kind of money? Now I actually, when we were waiting in line, because I was with Reese in the red room, as they call it, the red room, and they had, it was, set up specifically for merchandise, for t-shirts and belts and things like that. Well, Reese got this plastic chain with a WWE emblem on it for $30. And we were waiting in line, and there was a gentleman behind me, and one of his buddies come up, and he had a championship belt, and he lifted it, and he handed it to me. And he says, "Lift it, man. It's heavy." And I lifted it, and it's like, wow, yeah, there is some weight to it, And he was actually, he had it on his shoulder, and he was walking around with it, and yeah, and it's like, wow, and it really was heavy. There was weight to it, and there was a special needs kid. He had a vintage WWF WrestleMania Letterman jacket. And underneath of that, he was wearing a shirt. He had Down syndrome. He was wearing a shirt that had Shawn Michaels with Ric Flair. I said, man, I really dig your shirt, man. That is awesome. And I love your jacket. And he got all happy. He's like, oh, thank you. I said, you enjoy the show, buddy, and I'm sure I'll see you in there, which I didn't. I didn't see him in there, but it put a smile on his face. It made him happy, and they like that. They like that, and it was a great show last night. When I was at Bronner's yesterday, and like I said, capacity fucking crowd. It was packed at Bronner's, and again, because in 2 weeks from today is Christmas, that's one of the reasons. And Santa Claus was there, so everybody was bringing their kids. M83, by the way, bumper to bumper. It was hell getting in there and hell getting out. But I bumped into Wally Bronner. He now runs the store. His dad was Wally Bronner, and his mom was Irene, who just passed away, Irene Bronner. So both of his parents are gone. Now he runs the store. And I spotted him walking around through the crowd, and I said, well, it is Wayne Bronner, because he was wearing a name tag. I said, well, by golly, it is Wayne Bronner. And he says, oh, you found me. I said, well, it is a pleasure to meet you, sir. I said, Merry Christmas to you. And he says, well, thank you very much, sir. Merry Christmas to you too. And then he walked off. And yeah, and I never knew why anyone would make such a big fuss about that, but that's just my opinion. I don't see what the big deal is. Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or whatever you prefer. But it was yesterday from start to finish was awesome. It was probably the best day of the week.
Big long day.
And one of my friend's daughters has a birthday today. So happy birthday to her. Not going to say names, of course.
Right.
Not giving anything away, but happy birthday and much love to you. And
They've got a thing coming up on March 3rd, too.
March 3rd. Oh, at the Dow Event Center. Yeah. March 3rd, they're having the toughest, the monster trucks.
Yeah.
It's a monster truck. They used to call it Monster Jam, but it's not Monster Jam. It's just toughest truck or whatever, or something like that.
The reason why that is good is because the truck can't get air like
Yeah.
it used to in
Yeah.
bigger places.
Yeah. Like Detroit.
Detroit, Mount Pleasant,
When they're-
Yard.
when they're out at Ford
That's
Field.
why they call it Monster.
It's not Monster Jam and
No.
coming to Saginaw. It used to be Monster Jam. It's just like bull riding. When bull riding comes to Saginaw to the Dow,
Oh yeah.
they used to call it PBR,
Yeah.
the PBR, Professional Bull Riding
Yeah.
Association. But now I don't know what they call it, because I don't know if bull riding is coming back. The rodeo, I don't think it's coming back to Saginaw. I've been checking the calendar of events, and they have their Saginaw Spirit hockey games, and they've got some other stuff going on, but nothing that I would go to. I'm still waiting to hear when the Shrine Circus is coming back to the Dow, because without a doubt, I'm going to that.
Yeah, we always go to that.
So me and Dad and Amy will be going to the Shrine Circus, and I'm going to be hopefully taking one of my friend's kids, probably on the following day, because they're in Saginaw for I think maybe 2 or 3 days. And they're in Saginaw, I've noticed, during a weekend. So if I take this young man on, because it's my friend's son, so if I end up taking them on a Sunday, there won't be a Sunday video update, because I'll probably have him at the Shrine Circus, or I'll take him on Saturday, so I can still do the Sunday video update and I can talk about it,
Right.
the Sunday following. But there's just so much going on. And it's been a great week. It's been an awesome week for me. I can't speak for these two, but it's been a pretty good week for me.
Yeah. I'll go out and see if I can get another deer tonight.
Really?
Doctor's appointments.
Oh yeah, we had doctor's appointments this past week in Owasso. Yeah, well, she did. I didn't.
We still have appointments coming up. I've got to go in and have my surgery done.
When is that now?
Either the 13th or
16.
So it's this week then. Yep. Because today's the 11th, so in 5 days. If it's the 16th, it'll be in 5 days.
16th. Surgery is the 16th,
Yeah,
and
16.
pre-op. I got to be in pre-op by 10:45.
That day.
That
So let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this Friday.
Yeah.
This Friday. So I'll be in Owasso again this Friday, unless Dad gets his truck back. Unless Dad gets his truck back, then Dad will be in Owasso. And I'll be here or doing something somewhere else, whatever. Yeah.
You can't say 5 to 5 somewhere. Actually,
I've-
someplace somewhere.
I don't know. I've had a recent influx of people messaging me, which I'm not complaining. I get messages, emails, and text messages, and messages on Messenger. I was even invited to a birthday party out of state, and it's in January. It's next month. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to attend it because I'm not going to have the money, first of all. And second of all, it's wintertime. We're going to get our snow in January. And, but we, this friend and I, we came to an understanding, but I'm going to be planning a trip. Don't say no. It's not the place you said, but I'm going to be planning a trip next year. And I'm going to be hanging out with people who want me around. So, yeah, you can't give away. You can't give that away, Dad.
Florida, Kentucky, I don't know.
Well,
Where you go?
I've been invited to all those places,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to say which state, though.
But it takes money.
I'm not going to say which state.
Yeah.
It's not the money I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say where. But just know that those people, they want me to come out to their state, and we're going to hang out. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it next year. Really looking forward to it. Let's see. I've gotten all that out in a matter of, I'm not going to squint my eyes,
30 minutes.
a half hour. Can you believe that? I've just been sitting here blabbing, and there's 2 people watching. So hi, 2 people. Well, that's why I was turning the floor over to you and Amy, because I figured maybe you guys had something to talk about. You want to talk about your week?
My
just waiting.
Yeah, I know. I got a busy week coming up. 'Cause I got to take her there. And I got to get my truck just done, hopefully, so I can drive my truck.
Yeah.
If not, then we'll have to use Jared's van.
Yeah.
Jared, take us. And
Yeah.
go
I'll have to
with you.
climb through the passenger side door again
Unless
just
I
to
get
get
that
to
thing
the
and pull it.
to the driver's seat. And we do have
Oh, I
someone
saw too.
coming in. Camden Mobizin 2. Hi, Camden. Welcome to my channel. I'm not sure we've spoken before. Just as a side note, you come in, you're going to be nice, you're going to behave yourself, or I'll ban you. So be nice. We can have conversations. I'm not saying we can't have conversations, but you're going to behave yourself. So what's up, Camden?
Did you go to the show last night?
He's probably not even from here. I don't know who he is. But
He just popped in.
yeah, he just popped into chat. So hi, Camden. If you want to talk, if you got something to say, we can talk. It's not a problem. I've seen your video coming to Eaton Rapids. Yeah, that's been a while ago. Yeah, thanks for watching that video, by the way, Camden. Yeah, that's been a while ago. I haven't been back to Eaton Rapids in quite some time. I might have to make another visit out there. I might put together another video for Eaton Rapids. For sure, man. For sure. I'll have to come back out to Eaton Rapids one day and probably put together another video because I have friends and family who live in Eaton Rapids. So actually, they're more family than friends. I appreciate you watching, though, bud. Cool. Cool beans, man. But yeah, I just noticed these pair of scissors are like really sticking out off to the side over here in my shot. But yeah, I appreciate you watching, Camden. That's about all I can say. I appreciate you watching. I don't know what else to say.
I must have been banned from the channel because I can't get into it.
You can't get into it?
No, I can't even find your.
Well, see, there's somebody.
Well, let me see your phone. Let me see if I can fix that for you.
A lot of people come from like Eaton
Unless
Rapids,
it's something
Grand
I'm
Rapids
doing, I can't find you.
last night to watch your
Hey, Camden, if you're still here, let me ask you, did you go to the WWE show in Saginaw last night? If you're from the area, by the way, I don't know where you're from. So he says, I love your type of videos. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, no, you didn't. Okay. It's like I said, Dad, he might not be from here. I don't know who this Camden is. I've never seen him before.
Never talked to him.
Yeah, I've never Camden Mobizin. Well, they don't have to give away their where they're
No.
where they're watching from. I wouldn't expect that. If they want to, that's up to you. But it's right there, Amy. It's right there. But if you play it out here, it's going to distract me because I'll hear myself talking, and then there's going to be feedback. So
You can't hear yourself talking on it.
I can do it on my phone.
Yeah.
If I
My volume's down though, and I'm on vibrate.
okay.
Yeah.
So then either way, what would be the point? Because you're sitting right next to me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna sit here. Jared's like inches away, but I'm gonna sit here and
Hey, the more people that watch, the more you get. So
yeah. I'm not sure what that means, Camden, because it's a word I don't use. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna look it up right now. To throw, but is especially used to emphasize forcefulness and a lack of concern for the thing being thrown. Yeet? Can you say yeet? I don't see why not. I just read the Y-E-E-T. What does yeet mean? To throw. Okay, why can't you say that? Unless I have some other hidden meaning that I'm not aware of. Humorous nonsense word. You can technically use it whenever you want to chuckle, although you should probably avoid using it in professional situations. In fact, you should probably avoid using it in any situation where you might be ridiculed for shouting out a meme. I don't even know what the fuck it means. So yeah, and I do swear on this channel. If you can't handle that, tough shit. This is my channel. I don't see why it would be a problem. They're telling me not to use a word. Well, I just used it. So now what? Am I going to get in trouble? Am I going to be canceled, as they say nowadays, which is such bullshit? I could think of far worse things to say, although I'm not that kind of a person, but I could think of far worse things to say to have my channel removed or canceled. I don't even know what it means. To tell you the truth, I have no idea. If I get in trouble for using a word that I wasn't supposed to, well, how the fuck should I know? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, as long as you come in here and you behave yourself, I don't mind it if you come in here. And yes, I do use profane language. It's just the way it is. That's why my channel has a disclaimer that there's content not suitable for kids, which I make that abundantly clear. And Amy Marion says, "Hi, Jared." It's next door, sitting on the couch over here saying, "Hi, Jared." She can't spell her own last name, I guess, because there's an I in there. It says Amy Marion.
That's the way they pronounced it at Cricket.
Well, them dumbasses. Marion. I think I would know how to spell my own name. I don't know. That's crazy, isn't it?
I spelled it without the I, and they put the I in, so that's even my email.
Yeah.
Not right.
Well, I mean, if it's is it a YouTube channel or just a Google account?
Google.
I think you could edit that. I wouldn't know how to do it, but have a great rest of your day. Well, you too, Camden, and thank you for stopping in. And thank you for watching my video of Eaton Rapids. Like I said, I'll have to make it back out there again. And if I do make it back out there again, I'm sure I'll end up announcing it here. Now that I was unable to unlock the community section on my channel, I'll probably even announce there in my community section, going to Eaton Rapids today. So, yeah, pretty cool, man. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Let me check something real quick. Oh, I'm getting all kinds of new followers. Holy mackerel. Holy Moses, man. I'm typing in your YouTube channel name, Camden. You have 9 subscribers. Okay. Well, but you don't have any oh, you do have videos. Okay. Cool. PewDiePie. I'm sorry, guys. Apologies for the dead air. I'm just going through and seeing what this guy's channel is all about. This Camden Mobis. I'm butchering his last name. I'm not even going to make an attempt. But so there's that, guys. Cool beans. And I got all kinds of, good grief, all kinds of notifications. I'm Mr. Popularity today. Man, oh man, oh man. And Camden, I think, is gone because now I'm down to 1 viewer. And Dad, I've decided last week that Dad over here is my timekeeper, because I'm sitting here talking and not realizing what time it is. And Dad will say, "Hey, Jared, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes." Oh, okay. Well, thank you for telling me. I don't want to go over the hour. And for those of you who are new to this channel, like Camden, so I go live every Sunday from 3 p.m. until 4 p.m., roughly about an hour. and I just talk about the week in review, which I've been doing for the last almost, I don't know, 40 minutes or so, because we're zipping through this hour like no one's business. Yeah, so we're already down to the last 20 minutes of this video. It's incredible how quickly the hour goes by. I don't know. Once upon a time when I was pre-recording the Sunday video updates, and it would take forever for these videos to upload. Forever. And that's including the editing. I would always I would record the video and it wouldn't reach people until nighttime. And it would always aggravate me because it's like I want to get this video out as quickly as possible. And if I leave home, I got to make sure that something in the background is constantly playing so that way the video can continue to upload and it doesn't just, black out and it halts the uploading, and then I got to start it all over again. Wow, that's really bright, Dad.
I shut them off.
And it halts uploading, and then I got to start all over again. So I decided, you know what, I could just do a live stream, and I don't have to do any kind of special editing, although I have that option. And when I upload, I can just hit the stop button, be done, and go about my day, and it'll be ready later on in the day. And then I don't have to wait for it to upload 1%, 2%, and so on and so forth. It'll just be there and done. So plans this week. I'm not sure what plans are this week. I don't know, other than her appointment now, because I guess I didn't know before, but she has an appointment in a while. So this Friday, other than that, I really don't know what our plans are.
Reese might get a hold of you and
Reese might get a hold of me. I might go for a drive somewhere. I really don't know.
That's how-
Day by day.
Yeah, it's up in the air.
That's like us. We don't know what we're doing from day to day.
Like Billy Preston once said, "Will it fly high like a bird up in the sky?" Well, maybe.
and like I always say, I don't make plans.
Yeah, I don't like to make plans
Everybody asks me,
because
Something may come up.
yeah,
So you can't.
exactly.
well, what are you doing this weekend or tomorrow? I don't know. Tomorrow ain't here yet.
Yeah. I get asked that all the time. What are you doing this day? What are you doing that day? I don't know. I don't make plans because
When you don't know,
every time I make plans, it seems like something comes up, whether it be with vehicle troubles or someone has to, somebody needs me for
something happens,
an emergency or whatever. And it's like, well,
happens to somebody,
there went that. But I don't make plans unless I absolutely know for sure that I'm going to execute those plans. I don't like to make plans without actually following through with them.
that's why it's best to get a hold of you the next day and say,
Yeah.
what do you got going on right now? Well, right now I'm not doing nothing. So
What you got planned? What you got planned in the next 20 minutes or so? Nothing. Or there just may be days when I don't have any plans, but if someone asks me, what do you have planned in the next 20 minutes? I say, relaxing. I just want to sit back and relax. I don't want to do anything. It's not that I don't believe in helping people, but I got to have some downtime for me too. My body needs to rest too sometimes. And I think most people forget that. And there was one thing I wanted to talk about too,
And you forgot all about it.
because I've been rambling about everything else. I did make a post on Facebook about being anti-group, and I wanted to kind of briefly touch on that so there's no confusion. Now, when I said that I'm anti-group, which I don't join groups, I don't join clubs, allegiances, cliques, all that stuff. That pertains to groups who are trying to take charge of your life, like joining an anti-bullying campaign, which I hate to tell you this, but bullying is not going anywhere. It's something you have to deal with. Those kinds of groups, no. I'm not going to join some glee club or some, cheerleading squad or anything like that. However, when it comes to groups that aid people in addiction recovery, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or gambling or whatever, those groups I support because those are actually beneficial and instrumental to the person in need of help. So those groups I'm not talking about when I say I'm anti-group. I'm talking about the Glee Club types of groups who are always wanting to be the ringleader of everything. And oh, let's talk about the most obvious thing, like we're anti-murder. Well, of course. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. I don't need a group to legitimize my feelings about anything pertaining to bullying, murder, abuse of any kind. I don't need groups to legitimize my feelings about how I feel, to legitimize my disdain and disgust for bullying and abuse. And I don't need groups like that. If I had a gambling addiction problem, which I don't, then I would see going to GA. If I had an alcohol problem, which I don't, I would go to AA. And for drugs, of course, I go to a peer group or whatever. Now, I have a friend in town. She has group meetings for people who are overcoming addiction, whether it be, drugs, alcohol, whatever the case may be. She is a sweetheart of a lady. I love and adore her to pieces. Um, and she helps a lot of people. She makes a tremendous difference. Her name is Janice, by the way. And she's doing wonderful things. I just love and adore her just so much. She's always been a sweet friend to me. And well, she's Jay's age. She knew Uncle Ed. She knows some of the Perkins family. But I had written a poem for her son Arliss, and he loved it. And so Janice has always been just a sweet friend of mine. I just adore her to pieces. She's always nice to everybody. She's laid back. She likes a lot of the same music that I like CCR. And oh yeah, Arliss loves CCR, and I found that out because I was at her office on Halloween. He was passing out candy, and oh yeah, he loves Creedence. And I love Creedence. I've been to a concert where John Fogerty was on lead vocals, and he rocked the fucking place. I mean, he was phenomenal.
30 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, that was 20 years ago. Can you believe that? I was about 16. I think I was 16 when I went to that. Yeah. You were 44, and I was 16. Yep, those were the days. And it was a lot of fun. Boy, you could smell the reefer. Oh, boy, could you smell it.
You couldn't even go in the bathroom because you did.
Yeah.
That's all you smelled.
Speaking of that,
and security guards on the outside.
When I was at Bronner's yesterday, you could smell it. And it's like, I'm not sure if that's weed or if someone didn't use deodorant today, but it's a bit smelly. But I suspected that someone had gotten high before they went to the store. And okay. Well, and I think
they smoked in their vehicle on the way there,
or in the parking lot, they might have. But here's the thing. It may be an anxiety thing, where they don't do well in large crowds. I'm shocked I did pretty good because I get anxious when there's big crowds of people. I get anxious and I cringe. But yeah, but
if you notice, when we're in a big crowd, I hold Dad's belt loop.
Yeah, well, I was shocked yesterday because when I was at Bronner's, there were lots of people, wall to wall, and it didn't bother me. I was.
And another thing I have too, Jared, is like if we're at let's say we're at a bar.
Yeah.
And I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
My back can't be towards the doors. I have to be able to see who's walking in.
Oh.
I have to see what's going on in my 3/4.
Well, and like at the wrestling in Saginaw last night, there were lots of people. I didn't cringe at all.
That's good. Maybe you're getting better with
maybe I'm getting used to the fact that, well, I mean, I'm aware, yes, I share space and time with lots of other people, including, not just us three, but I think I'm getting better at it. I don't think so much about it too much.
You're more into what you're going to see.
Yeah. And I think too, it's like, you know what? I had to kind of train myself to convince myself that it's okay.
Yeah.
Because All these other people who are around me, they're people too,
What I
just
thought-
like I am. I am a person.
What I thought was cool last night when they did their national anthem or one singing,
Oh yeah,
I stood there with my crew. Jared did the same thing.
yeah.
Jared was like this.
Yep. I took my hat off and I went like
Whoa,
this.
He's doing it too.
I went like that.
For me.
Yep.
All veterans.
For all the vets out there. But even at the wrestling last night, but I had to train myself.
Yeah.
You know what? They're people just like I am. They probably have the same kind of anxiety
Yeah.
when it's other people and me included. So it's what's the difference?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm never going to see these people again. The chances are good I'll never see them again. So what's the problem?
Or if they might come up and say, "Hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah.
Last time I saw you was here."
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
There might be some familiar face, but I mean, I'm never gonna. The chances are pretty good that I'm never gonna see these people again. And if I do, we'll probably reminisce on when we actually first met one another at an event or whatever the case may be.
Or they might say it like over at Frankenmuth, they might say, "Well, there was a crowd here last time." Wasn't
Yeah, and the thing is I think I've trained myself to say, you know what, they're just people like I am. They're no better or whatever than I am, and I'm no better than they are. We're both
Maybe
we're
they got the same issues.
we're equal counterparts
Maybe
in society. So
maybe they got the same issues that you are fighting to keep around crowds.
yeah,
It'll help you.
yeah, and not to cringe, because it's like, well, we're both equal counterparts in the society. So they're no better than I am. I'm no better than they are.
9 minutes.
9 minutes left.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Timekeeper Daddy.
You're welcome.
Daddy time, Father Timekeeper.
Father time.
Father Timekeeper.
I think someone else knows that there's only about 6 minutes left because he was wanting to play.
Scruffy.
Yes, he's wanting to play and really.
Hey, Scruff.
Scruffy.
Come here.
To Jared.
Want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Nope, he wants to play. So yeah, I've been here for that day. The hour just goes by quickly. No one else said anything else, but there's 2 people watching. So I guess, do you still have yours going over there? Okie doke. So I know one of those people are Amy Marion sitting on the couch, and I don't know who the second person is. It might be Camden again. I don't know. But it's this past week has been phenomenal. It's been awesome, and I think I am getting better at crowds,
Yeah.
being around lots of people, because I didn't feel that way at Bronner's or at the Dow
Right.
at all.
Now, see, I'm waiting to see what I'm going to be like in January.
Yeah. Now, when I was 17 years old, man, it was a different story. It's like too many people, too many people. But it was overcrowded yesterday, and people. I've had discussions with some people about the overpopulation of the planet, and they think that it's bullshit. And the fact of the matter is that when we have more people than resources, it's not about space. It's not the space that's concerning. Yes, you can probably fit more people, but we're talking about people versus resources. There's more people than resources, and that's been demonstrated because of the fact that we had a fucking baby food shortage not long ago.
Formula shortage.
Yeah, formula. And they say, well, no, that's just a production. Yes, it's production. You got to have people to produce this shit. And if there's more people than product, you're going to run into a problem.
And now they want us with our people that are working and making money
Yeah.
with robots.
Well, here's the thing. That's like if I made a pot of chili just for the 3 of us, and a whole group load of people were coming over here. I didn't make enough for everybody. So they're going to have to go without. And I'm not the kind of person to turn anybody away if they're hungry. If you're hungry and I got food, there's a refrigerator. We keep snacks. But the point is, if I don't have enough to feed everyone, then it presents a problem. There are more people than resources. It's the same thing. But the world is not in my kitchen. The world is just the world, and my kitchen exists within the world. And we're talking about global product, the population versus the product. There's more people than resources. That's just there's data to support that. I don't have it in front of me, obviously, but there is data to support that claim that there are more people than resources. And I go round and round with people about this all the time. And it's like, you guys got to understand, it's not space we're talking about. It's resources. But anyway, Father Timekeeper.
Timekeeper ain't paying attention right.
Father Timekeeper.
Shoot, we got
Because I'm going by this clock over
5
here.
minutes.
5 minutes? Okay. Yeah. Yep. It's right on cue with the time, because I go by the time on the computer. Might as well just keep my glasses on.
You don't look bad with them on.
I only, when I'm doing the live streams or videos in any regard, I usually only just wear my glasses to read things. Like the chat log, there's just Amy Marion and Camden M. I cannot pronounce that last name. Camden, I'm not even going to attempt.
It's my alias.
Your alias. Oh. She didn't say alien.
I said alias.
Alias. Alias, not
It's
alien.
the name that I use, so no one else
Not
knows that it's me.
I mean, I will admit she is weird. She's got an almond-shaped head, but she's not an alien. She's got those big eyes, the almond-shaped head. Beam me up, Amy. Beam me up, Amy Marion.
Hey.
She gave me the bird, by the way. You guys couldn't see that, but she flipped me off. It's all good.
Hey, I got a cousin named Marion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a person named Marion. She went by Mrs. C on Happy Days.
Marion Cunningham.
Marion Ross.
Yeah, Marion Cunningham.
Not Cunningham.
No, whatever it is.
Actually, yes, it was. She did go by her name on Happy Days. Yeah.
Just the last name.
Yeah. Yep. Marion and Howard. Is that Howard? Marion and Howard.
Howard Cunningham.
Yeah.
Richie.
Yeah, Richie. Joni.
Joni.
Fonzie. Potsy. Yep. Now we're talking about
Happy Days.
70s television shows. This is a 70s television show hour. No, actually, we're down to the last 3 minutes of the show. I wanted to thank all of you, all 2 of you, or however many of you watched this, the after show. I wanted to thank you all so much for coming in and to listen to me speak for the past hour or so. And if you're new to the channel, like I said, I come here every Sunday, 3 o'clock Eastern time. I'm here for about an hour to talk about the week in review. And if there's anything that I talk about that you don't like, you're not required to stay, because I didn't invite you to this channel. You had chosen to come here. You came to me. I didn't go to you. So the choice is yours. But if you enjoy the content on this channel, subscribe. Let's, keep in touch and maybe potentially build a friendship. I mean, Camden, the person I've never spoken to before in my life, had noticed one of my videos about Eaton Rapids. And cool, that's great. I find that very interesting that anybody would even remotely come to this channel for anything. So again, Camden, thank you for watching my videos, and I hope you enjoy the content, apart from me swearing, because you may not be you may not be allowed to watch channels that contain swearing, vulgar language as they call it, but this is my channel, and I just within reason say whatever the fuck I want. So what are you laughing about?
Whatever the fuck I want.
Well, yeah, within reason. I mean,
1 minute.
my glasses are on, so now I can see. Thank you, Father Timekeeper. So last words from these 2
Be safe. Help one another. Check on your neighbors.
Peace out. Be safe. Enjoy your week. I'm going to try to.
All right. So we are winding down to the 4:00 hour. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jerry Bear. I will see you guys next week, which will be December 18th. We are 2 weeks away from Christmas. Bah fucking humbug. But just as a friendly reminder, we're 2 weeks from Christmas. Have a great week and a great day, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
That's a wrap.
See ya.